My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Hey guys, so I'm wearing this absolutely horrible lipstick because I wanted to give it one last chance, and I almost actually took it off for the video because I gave it one last chance. I put it on and it just proved itself to be truly horrible. But then I thought I would leave it on and actually quickly tell you about it because I did get it from Octoly, so I want to let you know how it went. It's the Grande Lips Plumping Liquid Lipstick, and I knew that there was something wrong as soon as I took it out of the carton because I saw the liquid through the little window and it had a crack in it, like something that's really old and dried out might get a crack in it. So I was like, oh no, it looks like it's gone dry or it's gone bad or something. And when I took the doe foot out, indeed, and I don't know if you can see it, I don't know if swatching it up close like that was actually able to give you a sense of the weird, wrong texture that this product has, this particular tube of this product, but it's essentially like a really thick paste. I immediately went on Sephora and I started reading the reviews, and it has pretty good reviews. People seem to really like it, and nobody said anything about it being beyond moussey, like way on the other side of Moussey Mountain. But reading the reviews and seeing no mention of its texture made me pretty confident that I got an old or a faulty tube, which is unfortunate because I feel like I can't then actually give an accurate review of the product except to say that somehow this one dried out before it was even opened, which is bad. I requested it from Octoly for two reasons. One, well, three reasons, I guess. One, I've had good experiences, nothing but good experiences with Grande Lips products in the past. I've used their lip plumper a couple of times and I really do like that product. Two, I really like the idea of a plumping and hydrating matte liquid lipstick. It seems like a contradiction in terms, but that is what they are offering, so I wanted to try that out. And three, I really wanted this color. I saw the color and it's that milky pale, almost purple lilac pink. It's very, very different from anything I've ever owned, so I was excited to give it a try. It does plump, it does tingle, and I like that effect on my lips, but everything else about this tube of product is horrible. That paste texture makes it really, really difficult to apply to the lips. It's like smearing a Play-Doh on, and then it makes it super gunky around the inner rim of my lips. Oh, and then there was one more terrible strike against the character of this lipstick, which is that it stains thoroughly, and it stains my lips this bright, bright pink color, even though this color is supposed to be kind of a muted, milky, pinky lilac. The pigment that they used to get this milky color must be a very, very bright pink because that's what's left behind on my lips when I take it off, and I hate that. I feel like it's already getting weird, and I feel like it's already wearing away, and you can already kind of see that bright pink stainy color on the lips. I'm actually going to reapply a little bit, although this might be a huge mistake. Okay, moving on. This is supposed to be a favorites video, and I started right in with the opposite of a favorite, something that really disappointed me this month. But all the rest of the items will be favorites, and also all the rest of the items will be items that aren't new to me, not things that I was testing this month, but rather things that I rediscovered or have been favoring from my collection this month. And some of my items aren't actually even items, just favorite techniques, favorite ways of doing my makeup, favorite makeup aesthetics that I was favoring this month. So let's go ahead and get right into the meat of the video. So my first favorite here is a technique or a makeup style, an eyeshadow decision. A decision that I have made many days this month is to do a bronzy all over the lid eye look. And this is actually a technique that I demonstrated one time. I filmed myself doing my go-to single shadow all over the lid look. And in that demonstration, I used this single eyeshadow, which I have depotted from the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. Don't worry, I haven't depotted the whole palette yet. I'm going to film that when I do it, and I haven't done it yet. But this is my favorite eyeshadow in that palette because it's weird, stiff quality. It's kind of stickiness makes it ideal for me to do a single shadow eye look all over the lid on days when my eyes are very watery and watering out the corners and threatening to water up onto my lids and ruin my eye look. There's something about the texture of this shadow, the stiffness of it. It's the opposite of powdery. It's the kind of eyeshadow that's really, really difficult to pick up on a brush. So I've been using this eyeshadow a lot this month to create that look on days when I needed a foolproof look. Something that was gonna look pretty dramatic and smoky and a little bit sexy, but not look like I tried too hard, and also on days when I needed an eye look to be pretty indestructible. And then there are a bunch of really gorgeous grungy bronzes in the gold palette, and I've been using those bronzes all month to create various simple, grungy, bronzy, all over the lid eye looks. I am wearing a version of that today. I wore kind of a lighter bronzy eye look today because I knew I was going to be wearing this somewhat dramatic, if not problematic, lip, and I knew I was going to be wearing this sparkly top. So I went a little light on the eyes, and I did use this kind of lighter neutrally bronze from the Star palette, and I used 24/7 from the Jaclyn Hill palette. That's the name of this eyeshadow. I'm not sure I said it before. I mostly used those two, and then I think I did go in with just a touch of black shadow to sort of smoke out the edges a little bit. But it's a pretty simple, more pale wash of bronze that I've got going on right now, and it's all shimmers pretty much on my lids. I like that. But a version of this look, usually a slightly more dramatic version of this look, is what I have been wearing on my eyes most days this month. And I think the thing that made it my favorite is not only the fact that I was doing it a lot and then I realized I was doing it a lot, but the tenacity of that kind of look. The fact that I feel like I can put it on and then feel like my eyes are going to make it through most anything that I might decide to do. I've really been appreciating that this month. And I also like the fact that the smudgy bronziness of it makes me feel like even if my eyeshadow does get a little bit messed up or a little bit uneven, it will just look that much more casual and that much more grungy, maybe that much more dewy on the lids, a little bit oily, a little bit greasy, which is a good thing in this context to me. And it is true that the neutrality of a look like that is one of the things that has caused me to favor it this month, because I feel like I can use a bronzy shadow to enhance my eyes ever so slightly, but without enhancing them so much that they compete with a statement lip or a statement earring or a statement blouse or something like that. And then the other technique that I have been favoring this month when it comes to makeup is, what's the most elegant way to say it? The most crass way to say it is skipping highlighting, not highlighting. So the technique that I've been favoring is not using a highlighter, which I guess it's not really a technique, it's a choice. I think the most elegant way to say it would be softly glowy skin. I've been very pleased with a soft glowing complexion this month rather than a blinding glow on my face. And I have a number of products that give me kind of a soft glow that aren't really highlighters. Glowy blushes, my Kevyn Aucoin Neo highlighter, which is billed as a highlighter, it's called a highlighter, but to me it's like a glowy bronzer or even a glowy face powder. Sometimes I sort of brush it all over my face. It's a gently illuminating powder, and a gentle illumination is what I have really been favoring this month. I'm not quite sure why. It could be the time of year. It could just be that I look in the mirror before I get to the highlighting step and I just think, you know, this is good. I think that sometimes highlighter can really make me look more like I'm wearing makeup. It really enhances the effect of a made-up face, and I just haven't been into that lately. I love highlighter, and I love the highlighters that I have, and I'm sure that my love affair with intense highlighting will come back around, so I don't feel like it's a permanent shift or like I've aged out of a love of highlighters or something like that. It's just been my favorite to have a soft glow on my cheeks this month. And you know what? I would even venture to say that part of the reason that I've been favoring a soft glow is that, like the grungy single shadow on the eye, it doesn't compete with a statement somewhere else. I think that might actually be a large part of it. And maybe this even has to do with the fact that I have been wearing pieces from Rent the Runway this month, all of which have been statement, this top included. This is from Rent the Runway. And I've been aware of my proclivity to tone down everything else when I'm wearing one statement thing. So I feel right now, and again, this is just because this is what's on trend for me right now in my life, I feel right now that if I'm wearing a super bold lip, like a rich red lip, that a blinding highlight in addition to that is too much. It's like how we talk about either going big with your lips or going big with your eyes. I almost feel as though I'm adding skin into that as well. Like I want to either be really, really highlighted and pretty toned down everywhere else, or have a super bold lip and be pretty toned down everywhere else, or go big with my eyes and be pretty toned down everywhere else. And maybe even, or go very bold with my jewelry or my clothing and then kind of go gently in with my makeup. And I just have been favoring other kinds of boldness this month other than a blinding highlighter. So those are my two favorite techniques or favorite makeup choices this month. And I do have a few products that I have been absolutely loving using. Two of them are actually from my Shop My Stash. I really lucked out with my Shop My Stash this month because as soon as I started using my Shop My Stash products, two of them became monthly favorites. I've just been loving reaching for them. The first one is one of the lipsticks that I picked out. It's Bite Beauty Chai. I have been so excited to reach for this on almost a daily basis. It's in my Shop My Stash, so I feel incredibly virtuous when I wear it, but I kind of feel like I would be reaching for it just as frequently even if I hadn't shopped my stash for it, because once I started wearing it, I just wanted to wear it and wear it and wear it. Obviously, it's not what's on my lips right now, but I think many of you know what it looks like. It kind of reads like a brown on me because I am so fair, but when I look at it next to my lipsticks that are actually brown, it definitely has more of a pink undertone. You know what? I will actually swatch California Love, that brown ColourPop lipstick, next to it. So there's Chai, and there's California Love. You can see that California Love is much more orange in undertone, kind of a ruddy brown, and Bite is just more pink. I like to take this lipstick and grind it into my lips and blot it and reapply it and blot it and reapply it until it's sort of messy and stained and blurred around the edges, really, really soft, like a rich stain. I like that sultry, messy, again, I'm gonna say grungy look on the lips. I almost feel like this lip color provides me the lip version of the eye look that I have been into this month. That single all over the lid, grungy, glimmery, sensual, messy, uneven eye look. That's what my lips are like when I use this product, both in color and in texture. That's the look that I'm going for, I should say. You don't have to apply this product in that way, but that's what I do with it, and that's the thing that I've been really into and the reason that I've been really into it. And then the other product of mine that I have had forever and haven't ever really appreciated, but that I have grown to absolutely love over the course of this month, is one of the cheek products in this NARS palette. And this is another item that's in my Shop My Stash pile currently. So this is the Unfiltered One. I shopped my stash for this probably around this time last year, and I really loved it for this apricot-y blush. That's probably my most reached for blush in here, and these plummy wintry blushes. I really love Exhibit A, and I remember not liking at the end of that month the highlighter because it's kind of white with a pretty strong gold undertone, and I felt like it was too gold for my skin, almost too dark, and also not liking this more bronzy product down here because I felt like it looked like a bruise on my face. It probably did at one time. I probably applied it. Maybe I applied too much. Maybe I was in the wrong kind of light. Whatever was going on then is not going on now, because this is the product that I am loving right now. This one down here. I believe it's called Takeover. I know that this palette was limited edition, and I don't know if Takeover is separately available, but even though it looks like a bronzer in the pan, it does have a warmth to it. It has a blushy color to it. I have really been loving, this is so funny because I'm about to say something about its plummy brown quality. So really it looks like my favorites this month have all been brown cosmetics. Grungy, glimmery, brown stuff is what I've been wanting to put on my face. It's pretty funny. I didn't think about that until just now. Maybe I'll put a little bit of this on right now. I don't know if you will be able to get a sense of what it does. Right now I'm only wearing the Kevyn Aucoin Neo Highlighter in Sahara on my face. So when I first put it on, when I first apply it and I see the product stamped onto my cheek, I worry that it's going to be too dark and that it's going to kind of have that bruise effect. But then as I start buffing it into the skin, which is how I apply all NARS blushes, I do find that they end up with a beautiful blend if you buff them in, but they do tend to seem like they're sticking at the beginning. But if I start buffing it in and it really starts to spread out, it's almost like a rosy tone emerges. And then it has this beautiful rosy glow with just the slightest bronzy undertone that still works for me. And it's on the edge of maybe being too brown, but I think that pushing that edge is what I've been liking about it this month. So it's exciting to have tried again with a product that I had previously written off. Because since last year, I've been thinking of this as a 6-pan palette that only has 4 pans in it for me. And now I feel like it has 5 pans in it for me. And to be honest, I haven't gone back into that highlighter again during this month yet. But based on my experience rediscovering Takeover, I'll definitely give it another try. And then the last product that I have really been appreciative of this month actually is something that is new-ish to me. And it was on the excellent recommendation of one of you. I had a number of videos in December during which my eyes were watering like Billy-O. And I mentioned it in the beginning of, I think, like 2 or 3 videos in a row. I was like, I'm sorry if my eye look is uneven or destroyed. My eyes are watering badly and it's getting up onto my lids and it's messing up my look. And one of you wrote in the comments that you had seen me talking about my watery eyes and that you noticed that I blink a lot while I'm filming. And it's partly because the lights are bright. And I also think that there might be something about just talking in a steady stream that makes me kind of blinky, like I'm trying to clarify and make sense of what I'm saying. But in this comment, one of you said that you were wondering if maybe I struggle with very dry eyes. And the comment said that the eye produces 3 kinds of liquid. There's oil, water, and mucus. And if your eye is low on mucus and oil, then it will overproduce water to try to lubricate. And I had never heard that before. I have struggled with watery eyes for a long time. It can be truly a struggle, especially if it's like a photo shoot day for the business and I really need to put on a full eye look and my eyes just aren't having it. And lately, sometimes when I need to film and I'm on a filming schedule, which I now have, and I'm trying to put makeup on and my watery eyes just keep ruining my eye look, it can be really frustrating. And I have been looking for some kind of antidote to watery eyes. I had done a little research, but I hadn't turned much up, and I have had eye drops before. I just haven't really been able to stick to using them and I haven't really seen them do much good. But in this comment was the recommendation to try Systane Gel Drops, lubricant eye gel. And I immediately was intrigued and looked them up and bought them. It was a health expense, which was something that was allowed during my no-buy year. My no-buy didn't extend to cover health stuff and medicines and stuff like that, so I considered this to fall under that category. And the commenter said in her comment that these completely changed her eyes or changed her life or something. But, you know, the assumption is that they helped her deal with watery eyes like mine. And the thing that made me really excited was not only that, but the fact that it's a gel. And I realized as soon as I started reading about it that part of why I hate using actual eye drops is because the application process or the insertion process of the eye drops is so uncomfortable. You have to tilt your head all the way back and then you're like squirting water into your eyes. And so I have this visceral reaction like, no, no, and I blink and I don't want, and it just, I would see them sitting there. I knew that I had dry eyes. I knew that I needed to put them in my eyes, and I would see them every day and just be like, no, be gone. And I would just never use them. But with a gel, it's so much easier because I can see the little drop coming out of the tip and it kind of clings. It's much, much more viscous than an eye. So you can see, I don't know if you can see. Okay, I dropped a drop onto the floor, but it was for science. It was for you. So I find these incredibly easy to use because I can see the drop coming out and then I just stick the drop against my eye and it just goes onto my eye. And I do see a difference when I use these consistently, and I have been using them consistently because I don't enjoy the process of putting it in there. Well, I kind of do. I would say I enjoy it the way that one enjoys brushing one's teeth, because it's enjoyable to then have clean teeth, and it's not so gratifying to brush the teeth, but it's something that I'm always glad to do because then I feel fresh afterwards. And that's how this is. I see them there and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that thing that makes my eyes feel better, and that's good for me, and that's not difficult in the least. So I wanted to talk about these because they've definitely been a favorite this month, because I'm so grateful to the one of you who recommended them. Thank you. And because I just wanted to let all of you out there who might be struggling with watery eyes know that this product has worked really well for me for a number of reasons. And I also have changed my strategy when it comes to dealing with my watery eyes based on this new information about the fact that the eyes are watering to overcompensate for low levels of mucus and oil. Because previously, when my eyes were relentlessly watering out the corners, I would dab at them. I would try to dry up all of the liquid that was in my eyes because I was like, oh my gosh, there's all this liquid in my eyes and it's leaking out of my eyes and it's messing up my makeup. So there would be water sort of standing in my eyes and I would try to dry it up, and then it would just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And now I'm assuming, I'm not an eye doctor of any kind, despite what you may think, but I'm assuming, and maybe I should have thought of this before, that drying it up is what's causing it then to come back, if that makes sense. I mean, it does make sense. You know what I'm trying to say. It's very tempting to try to dry up that liquid when you feel like it's standing there threatening to ruin your eye look. But lately, when I'm having watery eye troubles, I've just been gritting my teeth and leaving it, and leaving the water there and just letting my eyes be watery. And sometimes what I'll actually do when I feel my eyes start watering is I'll put the drops in, and then there will be a lot of liquid in my eyes, because when you first put the gel drops in, they're there on your eyeballs, being liquidy and jelly and covering your eyeballs. But I find that if I do that and then there's just all of this liquid kind of sitting in my eyes, I can then cautiously proceed with putting on my eyeshadow. I can't go in quite then with eyeliner on my waterline, but if I wait a while and I just gently put on some eyeshadow and don't think too hard about it and don't mess with it, usually by the time I'm ready to put eyeliner on my waterline, everything has calmed down a bit and my eyes have stopped manically producing liquid. And that is it. Those are my little favorites for the month of January. A couple of makeup techniques that I have been favoring, a couple of old products that have reemerged this month as favorites, a way of dealing with my horrible watery eyes, and one product that performs like garbage. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.